Welcome back to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy. And today we're going to tell you about Megan Shaffer.
Don't forget to smash that like button. Check out the description for the links of all of our podcast platforms, Cash App, and Buy Me a Coffee. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends. As always, tell your friends because they deserve to hear us too. So don't be rude. Share us.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Do it.
All right. So we got Megan Shaffer.
Yes. Today we're going to Maryland.
Let's head over to Maryland.
This is a trigger warning case for self-harm, so you have been warned.
Warning, warning.
It is around 2 a.m. on January 4th of 2017 when Stephen Moon calls 911. Now, Stephen was out at the Savage River State Park with his friend, 24-year-old Alexander Stevens' parents, around the Savage River Reservoir. His best friend since middle school, Alex, was missing. Alex was a pretty well-rounded kid growing up. In high school, he was into pretty much everything. Eagle Scouts, he played instruments in jazz, orchestra, and marching band. He played football, basketball, and ran cross country. He was in plays, musicals, and concert choir. He had been in a program at Cambridge University in England, so he was like doing everything he could do. When he graduated high school, he started at the Coast Guard Academy and was even in the Glee Club there. But senior year, everything changed. He got kicked out of the academy for going into a girl's room while she was sleeping. He reached under the blanket and touched her thigh. Now, there are conflicting reports on this. Some reports say that the female is the one who reported this incident. Alex's dad says that students actually changed rooms every September on campus there, and Alex got drunk and went into what he thought was still his girlfriend's room, but it wasn't. So this was just an unfortunate misunderstanding. And that once Alex realized what he had done, he actually reported himself and was disenrolled because of the honor code there. Either way, Alex changed after this. He grew his hair long, was looking into different religions, and become a fruitarian. That's what Stephen called his vegetarianism. Fruitarian.
I might start using that. That's a good one. What is a fruitarian?
So he's saying that because he's a vegetarian and doesn't eat meat, that all he eats is like fruits. So he's a fruitarian, not a vegetarian. Yeah, just another way to say it. Now on this night, Alex's twin sister Tristan had called Stephen Moon because she hadn't been able to get a hold of Alex and she was worried. Since Alex had recently asked Stephen for the location of a fire tower on High Rock there at the state park, Stephen figured he might have went there or could have possibly went to the cemetery. When he got that call, it was already getting late. It was raining and it was about 40 degrees outside, so it wasn't ideal conditions to be out in an over 11,000 acre forest. But Alex wasn't at the cemetery, so Stephen went to High Rock. He says he got there at about 11:30 p.m. And when he came up to the trailhead of the Savage River hiking trail, he saw Alex's 2006 Nissan 350Z along with Megan Shaffer's 2010 Hyundai Elantra. Alex's car had the hood open and the car was covered in motor oil. The bottle was still sitting on the roof. Megan's car had the headlights on. The key in the ignition was turned to like the ACC position or whatever it's called, and the radio was playing. A cell phone was in her back seat. So,
well, that's a weird scene to walk up on.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Very creepy. And there was no Alex. There was no Megan where the cars were. So he used his cell phone light to head towards the abandoned fire tower. Now this thing was more than a mile away, so it took a minute to get there. Once there, shit just got weirder. There were melted candles, a backpack that was also covered in motor oil, and it had men's and women's clothes inside of it. And then there next to it was another bottle of oil. But he also saw Alex's cat, Sibelia, in a pet carrier. Alex had just adopted him, the cat, not Stephen. So this was confirmation that Alex had been there. But when he yelled out for Alex and Megan, he didn't hear anything back. So he and Sibelia went back down and he called 911. He describes Alex as a white male with black longer hair and glasses. Megan is a white female with dirty blonde hair. He tells him about what he's found, but he mentions that they also may have a small dog and 2 ferrets with them. Random. He also mentioned an important piece of information that he thinks Alex may have come here to hurt himself.
But what about Megan?
Right. So most who self-harm do it alone so they can't be stopped. So if he was with Megan, are we looking at a murder-suicide? Or what are we looking at? Most of this doesn't make any sense. The rescue team shows up and starts looking for the 2. Then another 911 call comes in that morning. It reportedly is a small child at first, like that's how they report it, based off the sound of the voice. But it was actually 20-year-old Megan. She had been out at High Point with Alex when they fell off a cliff, she says. She thinks Alex is deceased. And she is hurt. Bad. She had to walk through the woods all night until she came across this house. She looked around for something with the address on it and luckily found something, so she was able to tell the 911 operator where she was. Now, I Google mapped this location, and it's a pretty remote area that's surrounded by woods. When first responders arrived, she was still on the phone with 911, but she was so injured she couldn't get up and go to the door to let them in. So they forced the door open and rescued her. She was naked, hypothermic, and had a broken shoulder. She had cuts and scrapes all over her, which is understandable if she walked naked through the woods all night. And there were a lot of reports saying that she had a broken back or possible broken back, but I think they just suspected that since she said they fell off a cliff. And maybe it was ruled out because Megan was into weightlifting. So I trolled over to her Instagram and saw a video from a month after this incident where she is squatting weights. And the caption reads, "Attempting to get back in the swing of things with some lightweight. Bummed out body or not, I've still got work to do. Hashtag broken shoulder probs. Hashtag I still squat. Hashtag donuts and deadlifts. Hashtag functional thickness."
She's not squatting with a broken back after 1 month.
No, no. They allegedly fell off the cliff on January 3rd.
No, you're not squatting with a freaking, I mean, you're not even going to squat with a fucking bum, with a broken shoulder.
Right. The whole thing is weird to me because they fell off the cliff on January 3rd and that video was posted February 3rd. So it was literally a month. There's no way.
Yeah.
I know there's no way she had a broken back.
And they can be like, oh man, she's built different. No, if she's doing that with all that stuff wrong with her and everything, she's fucking Terminator.
And she's a little thing. Plus, she doesn't even mention her back in the post. She only mentions the shoulder. So, I mean, it was just, I don't know. Anyways, once she was able to actually give them an idea of where her and Alex fell off the cliff, which was a mile away from the house, a helicopter with thermal imaging set out. It was 9:30 a.m. that something was spotted, and it was Alex's body. He was, in fact, deceased. He was found face down in a water drainage ditch 1.5 miles away from High Rock. He was naked too, covered with cuts and scrapes just like Megan. But one thing really stuck out to the rescuers. There was a 7-inch kitchen knife laying next to his head, and his throat had been cut.
So that didn't happen by falling off a cliff.
No, sir. I don't think so. Now, I think we'll take a moment here to hear from today's sponsor before we get into the next part.
If you're in a heated argument with your dryer, don't worry. You'll both cool down eventually. Or maybe you just need a washer and dryer. Don't get agitated. Take a load off.
Get your laundry set from My Laundry Solutions and let them iron out your problems. If you live in an apartment, get your set from them. They service them, and they have locations in Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. The most recent area is Lubbock, Texas, around the Tech Terrace area, with more locations coming soon.
So give them a call today, 800-535-4411.
Or go online to mylaundrysolutions.com.
And let them wash your troubles away. Let them wash your troubles away.
Yeah, let them. Who else is going to do it?
For $1 a day. Come on.
Who could beat that? That's a deal. Now, needless to say, Megan would be arrested for murder. The indictment came in the day after she turned 21. Now, I'll tell you about what the ME said right now so that you can keep that in mind as we go through Megan's version of events. The assistant ME said that the cause of death was sharp force injuries of the neck and ruled it a homicide. He had many broken bones from the fall too, so don't overlook those. But they observed at least 7 sawing motions on Alex's neck. So it wasn't like one clean shot. It was 7 sawing motions, forceful enough to cut through his carotid artery and jugular vein and nick the bone of his spinal column.
And how did Megan explain that?
Well, she had a couple of different versions of how that happened.
So he was like falling and was like,
We'll get to it. Trust me.
Oh.
You'll be like, nope. According to the case documents, she first was talking to the paramedics in transport to the hospital. They were asking her about her injuries to better treat her, and she told the paramedics that her and a male friend went to the top of the cliff, lit some candles, and took off their clothes. They fell off a 20 to 30 foot cliff and laid at the bottom for an undetermined amount of time before she found that her friend had died from his injuries. Now, it was a 40-minute drive to the hospital, and in that 40 minutes, the story changed. Now, she was saying that after they fell, they walked through heavy brush before Alex fell to the ground and died. Then, she said that they had made it to a body of water when he Then she had said he fell on a knife and died. And then she said that they had made it to a body of water when he decided he wanted to kill himself and he cut his own throat. But then, and then, she told paramedic Biggs, this is probably not going to look good, but when they find the knife, my handprint will be on that knife.
oh, I bet it was Megan.
Right? Her defense would try to suppress that information in court, saying that since the DNR team, that's the rescue team, advised Biggs to alert them to any information she gave about the whereabouts of Alex, that this was more like an interrogation. Now, if it's an interrogation, she should have been Mirandized. But the court said that she was not being interrogated. She was not in custody at the time. She was talking to a paramedic, for Pete's sake. So it's not like she was talking to the cops. She didn't have to be Mirandized to talk to the EMT.
But they still have to make their report.
They do. They do make a report, but he wasn't like trying to get information out of her, like, what did you do? You know, It was more, where is he and what happened, so I know where to look for injuries.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what happened, basically like what happened, so they just know how to treat it.
Exactly. It's not somebody who can arrest her.
Yeah.
Unless they do a citizen's arrest.
Well, no, I mean, they can hold them.
Well, the hospital can. Paramedics can't.
Yeah, no, EMTs can. If they can see foul play or whatever, then they can call and they can hold.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Yep.
This is new information for me. Or maybe I'm just not thinking about it right.
No, I mean, because they are part of law enforcement and everything.
Well,
any way you look at it, I mean, EMT, firemen, whatever. I mean,
okay,
they're all part of law enforcement either way.
I can see that.
So if they come to them and they're like, you're going to find my hand, this right here. If they suspect foul play, they have to hold them or at least report them.
And that makes sense.
Now they might be like, hey, we're going to take you to the hospital, get you checked out, and then call the police and say, hey, I need you here.
Right.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? But they still have to make a report.
Since you say it like that, and I'm thinking about it, you're right. Because if you suspect a DUI or something, they're not going to let you AMA and walk away from the ambulance at the scene.
Yes.
But can they forcibly hold you? They can't technically arrest you. Right.
Yeah, they can.
Well,
I think they can.
Okay.
if it's to do with a murder.
But yeah, this is definitely a murder.
If they suspect foul play.
I got you.
I
got you. And if we have any EMTs that listen, let me know.
Any time it's something with death or anything like that, they have to call the authorities. They have to call police so that they can investigate it.
Well, when he had her in the ambulance, they hadn't found his body yet. That's why they were like, the cops were like, if she says anything about maybe where they were, let us know so we know where to look.
Yeah.
So they hadn't even found him yet. There was no.
And she was just spouting her shit off.
She's just randomly throwing out stuff.
I mean, and there's her freely saying it.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, she, at that point, she was not under, she didn't have to have no Miranda rights.
No.
Said, because she wasn't telling it to a cop didn't physically arrest her.
Right.
EMT does not have to give her Miranda rights.
No.
She was freely given the information.
100%. And that's what the judge said. He's like, you can't suppress this. She was talking out of her ass.
Yes.
That's on her. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So her first interaction with actual troopers, so actual police, was after she got to the hospital. She was hypothermic, but didn't have any head or brain injuries. So the hospital staff did allow her to talk to police. She told the troopers that she and Alex were doing a ritual, like a cleansing of some type. But it was his idea, and she didn't fully understand it. They walked to the edge of the cliff and fell off. They were unable to climb back up, so they walked down the mountain. And she said that Alex then slit his own throat with the knife. She did later acknowledge at her trial that this was not true. So this story that she first told them, she's like, okay, I lied. Her second interview with the troopers was on the next day, still at the hospital. She said she was about 3 to 4 feet away from Alex this time when he slit his throat because he was tired of suffering, according to her. Now, 8 hours after she gave that second interview, she had the troopers come back so she could, quote, clear things up.
Of course.
This time she told them that Alex had actually pulled her off the cliff.
Sure.
And that he made her hold the knife while he fell on it. In a sawing motion 7 times.
Yeah.
But by the end of the third interview, she changed it again, saying that he made her hold the knife and then he held her hand and pulled the knife across his throat. Yes. Yes.
Stupid.
I'm telling you.
Ridiculous.
Very.
So were they tested for drugs?
Right. Because you're like, what were you doing? Neither had drugs in their system.
No.
Yeah. Alex had recently started experimenting in a lot of things, including LSD. And some hallucinogens are quick and they don't hang out in your system for long. Now, if Stephen was out there looking for him at 11:30 and couldn't find them, they had already went off the cliff. So that's at least 10 hours before they find them and get her to the hospital. So they could have had something in their system if it was fast acting and then it was gone. Plenty of time to metabolize it. That's what I'm saying. This happened in January, but Megan wasn't arrested until September. Her last powerlifting post on IG was on 9/11, and she was arrested 9/14. Alex's dad, Jay, said that Alex was thinking about his place in society and things like that, but he was absolutely not suicidal. He had just adopted the cat, bought it a bunch of toys, like he was making plans for the future. But another thing that no one could explain was the dog.
I was just about to say, was it a cat or a dog?
Well, remember
and
when
where's the fucking ferrets?
And the ferrets, right? So there's a dog and 2 ferrets somewhere. Now, apparently earlier that day, Alex had went to the family's house and got the family dog, Sid. He told his grandma that he was going to take Sid for a walk, but then he never came back. And this was very out of character. Remember, Alex didn't live there. So for him to drive from his house to their house just to take their dog for a walk was kind of odd. The ferrets were never found.
Oh, they're part of the wild now.
They belong to the wild. Yeah, they're gone. But Sid was eventually found in his carrier at that cemetery.
How in the hell?
There's a lot of theories swirling around, but basically maybe they started at the cemetery and then decided to go to High Rock and left Sid behind. Or another theory is that Alex left him there earlier in the day before he met up with Megan. Or another theory is that Megan took him there after she killed Alex. So it's like, but that would mean she'd have to get in her car, drive to the cemetery, put the dog out there, drive back, walk through the woods. I mean, it's just like, because she had cuts and scrapes on her. So she definitely walked through those woods at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted everybody to know that there's no report that I saw where Megan talked about the dog. So if you know, let me know. But I just want you to know the dog and cat went to Alex's family alive and well. I'm letting you know.
But we don't know what happened to the ferrets.
Those ferrets are probably living their best life.
They're probably out there just roaming the woods.
Like it's 11,000 acre forest.
There are wild ferrets.
Yeah, you've seen one.
I've seen one. Yeah. It was crazy.
They can get out and then they belong to the nature.
Yep.
We also need to mention that Alex's dad, Jay, says that Alex opened a transfer on death account with $188,000 in it and named Megan as the beneficiary just a week before his death. Throw that in at the end.
Very suspicious.
Luckily, Jay was able to get a judge's approval to stop the transfer on that, so Megan did not get that money. But a lot of speculation is this was the motive for murder.
Yeah, people have killed for less.
For sure. They definitely have. There's a lot of issues with all of Megan's stories, obviously. Alex had multiple broken bones, including a punctured lung and broken ribs. That would be consistent with a fall off a cliff, but it would have meant that he couldn't have cut his own throat, according to assistant ME. Megan had a broken shoulder, and that's it. Plus, Alex's body was found 1.5 miles away from the cliff. So did he walk on his own, or did she carry him? She is a weightlifter and a black belt in Taekwondo. She has the ability to carry a person, but what's the motivation with a broken shoulder? This made me question if maybe it was a mercy killing situation. Maybe she was trying to get them to safety, but he was just getting worse and worse. So she took matters into her own hands to end his suffering, which is some words that she used. But that would mean that one of them would have had to fall off the cliff with that 7-inch kitchen knife and either keep a hold of it in the fall or find it after and then carry it with them for 1.5 miles. I mean, it wouldn't have been hard to find if they fell off the cliff with it because it wasn't dark yet when they fell off. At least they believe, because they were last seen on the trail at 5 p.m. So it would have still been daylight. And it's not clear what time they went off the cliff. So either way, she didn't have that in any of her version of events either. So I guess that's something we don't even need to talk about. Some theorize that she pushed him off that cliff and then somehow hurt her shoulder, like maybe trying to get down to the body to make sure he was dead. The Google says that a fractured shoulder should take 6 to 12 weeks for the bone to heal, depending on how bad the break is. But then the strength and range of motion takes even longer to come back. But 1 month to the day she's lifting weights. So, like you said, it's a miracle. Then there's at least 7 sawing motions on his neck. His twin sister Tristan said that his head was nearly severed from his body. But Megan's defense had a forensic pathologist testify that his neck wounds would be consistent with Megan's story that he held her hand and forced her to cut his throat.
Good Lord, get your head out of your ass, really?
Listen.
I'm a power lifter and everything. And I do all this stuff to strengthen my core.
Right.
But he forcefully made me do this.
Right.
Fuck off.
You could probably find an expert to say anything you need them to say on the stand because they all say things differently, unless you're trying to find one to say that John O'Keefe was hit by a car, but That's a different case. So Megan goes on trial in 2018, and she is found guilty of second-degree murder. Her lawyer requested a sentence of 18 months in the Garrett County Detention Center.
Oh, gosh.
And then 5 years of supervised home confinement. State Attorney Lisa Thayer said that the guidelines for a person with no prior conviction on a charge of second-degree murder is 12 to 20 years. And she said there's no reason to go below that and every reason to go above. I hear you. I hear you, Lisa. The judge apparently agreed, and he gave Megan 30 years in prison, not in the county jail, 30 years in prison. She did appeal the sentence, trying to get it reduced, but a 3-judge panel said 30 years was a reasonable and appropriate sentence.
Yeah.
So, denied. And like I said, there's a lot of theories online about what could have possibly happened. We've talked about a couple of them. Most of them are that Megan is where she needs to be. So, either way. And that's all we have on this one.
Yeah.
It's still one that we just don't know because she won't tell the truth. So I don't know. You got any
Well, and
final?
the whole thing is, she's going to say whatever. She's going to be like, oh, he made me do this.
Right.
He's gone. He's not going to be able to defend himself.
100%.
He can't say, yeah, I did this, or no, she really did this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's literally her word.
That's all we have.
That's it.
And she changes it every 5 seconds.
And that's what I'm saying. And she's obviously lying constantly.
Yeah. Like every time she opens her mouth, something changes.
I mean, yeah, let me clear this up.
Let me clear something.
Hang on. Let me clear that up. Hold on. Oh, wait. Let me clarify on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's completely different.
And then a month after, she's powerlifting. Oh, let's get back in there. Fucking donuts and squats.
Donuts and deadlifts.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck off.
Functional thickness.
Yeah.
That's the one I took it. All right. If you like our content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can email us if you need to get a hold of us or if you have any case suggestions at dnda.truecrime@gmail.com.
Yep. And as always, tell your friends because they deserve to hear us too.
They do.
So until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.